Welcome to the Life Coach School podcast, where it's all about real clients, real problems, and real coaching. And now, your host, Master Coach Instructor Brooke Castillo.
How do you go from a binge eater to a bodybuilder? What's the number one secret ingredient to get that done? In a minute, I'm going to tell you everything about my personal exclusive story. Now, you might be wondering who I am because, as you must have noticed, this is not Brooke with a French accent. My name's Nadège Cézanne, and I go by Nad. I'm a life coach from France. In the last 5 years, I coached for the Life Coach School 5 days a week, about 50 scholars a week, and I just turned 50. So that's why I'm your host today at the Life Coach School podcast. I live in Paris, and as I'm recording this, the Olympics are around the corner, so the city feels very excited at the moment. In fact, I've just seen the Olympics torch by my window. That was amazing. And the good news is, since 1904, this is the first time golf is back on the menu in Paris. So that's great news for Brooke and Christian. So, a little about me. I became a certified life and weight loss coach through the Life Coach School in 2019. And in 2021, I was certified through Corinne Crabtree's No BS Weight Loss University. And I was once a binge eater, and now I'm a bodybuilder. And in this podcast, I'm going to tell you all about my journey. But first, let's talk about using Brooke's model in a country where 72% of the people don't speak English. And at the end, I'll share what it was like to coach 50 scholars for 5 years, 5 days a week. During the podcast, I'm also going to share my 5 biggest insights after working with the Life Coach School with about 50 scholars a week, 5 days a week, for more than 5 years. And at the end of this episode, I'll have a special bonus gift for you, so make sure to stick with me till the end. So let's go and first talk about using the model where 72% of the people don't speak English. Brooke's model is helping people all over Europe, in both English and French, among other languages. I've seen many people change their lives with Brooke's teachings in their own language. Whatever the French-speaking country, whether it's Luxembourg, Switzerland, Belgium, France, or Quebec, the French-speaking region of Canada, among other areas of the world, Brooke's ideas are now known worldwide. Many people don't realize how powerful coaching in their own language can be. I coach in both English and French, which is great because 72% of French people don't speak English. And I'm only talking about French speakers, but can you imagine? There are 250 European languages, and no doubt most Europeans, like most French speakers, don't speak English. While the model is big in America, there's a huge European market that hasn't been fully tapped into. Get Coached is stopping, but it's just the beginning of a big wave in Europe and other non-English speaking countries. For many of my clients, speaking in French is important for 3 main reasons. First, they can express themselves more clearly in French. They know exactly what to say and they just say it. Second, it's more comfortable for them. They don't have to find the right words in a different language, and they don't have to worry about not speaking well enough. This makes things easier. And third, the clarity and comfort make their coaching deeper and more effective. They achieve their goals faster and more easily. Only 28% of French speakers are confident in their English. So offering coaching in their own language is really valuable. It means that 72% of French people now have access to the model in French. It's crucial to use the language we're most comfortable in if we want to make lasting changes in our lives. So that's my biggest insight, number 1. Coaching in your language helps you express yourself better, feel more comfortable, and achieve your goals faster. That means there's a huge possibility for life coaches to make a difference by coaching in their native tongue. They can help people who don't speak English manage their primitive brain in a modern world. People like me who struggle with, for example, binge eating. So let me tell you my story. That is to say, how I went from binge eater to bodybuilder. Coaching for the Life Coach School, being coached by the amazing one-to-one coaches, and self-coaching have given me so many aha moments. The model has made my life extraordinary. But you may wonder, how can one go from having no discipline, no self-command at all around food, to easily eating what she said she would eat, and not just once, but every day, for every meal, without even thinking about it, without even noticing all the treats around her when she goes to her favorite coffee shop, several times a day, by the way, walking past many delicious bakeries. This is Paris, after all, home of baguette, croissant, and other yummy, mouth-watering foods. So, here's my story. I used to be an English teacher here in Paris. When I got stressed, I ate a lot. For 30 years, I would eat tons of food whenever I felt bad or good, just because I didn't know what to do with my emotions. Like many kids, I was taught not to show my feelings, or, even better, not to have any. This stopped me from getting the strong body and the happy life I now have, thanks to the model and the Life Coach School courses. But for 30 years, I was so ashamed. Here's an example of what it was like. Every day, I felt excited about eating. I couldn't wait for all the expected sensations of pleasure, fun, freedom. My heart would beat fast and my mouth would water as I was imagining the taste of a burger and fries with Nutella for dessert. That was a typical meal for me on a regular day. I kept thinking, I can't wait to eat, and this is going to be so good. When I had lunch at home, I would switch the TV on, sit on my cozy couch, and enjoy the spicy scent of grilled meat, onions, and spices. The smell of the burger made my mouth water even more. But, to be honest, I was not really paying attention to the food, even if the meat was deliciously warm and juicy, and the fries were crispy and salty. Sure, I was busy chewing, and the food in my stomach felt good. The flavors were strong and soothing. I felt a bit of relief with each bite. It was like scratching an itch, you know? And I was in a rush to fill my stomach as much as possible. There was no way I would stop before I had finished the burger and the fries. This is delicious. I want more. Just a few more bites. And after the burger and the fries, I'd grab the jar of Nutella. The sweet smell made me forget everything else. I used a teaspoon to scoop big heaps, each bite creamy, thick, rich, and sweet, melting in my mouth. The taste was sweet and nutty, and it felt like a warm hug from the inside. And even when my stomach started to feel too full, almost aching, I wouldn't stop. I would tell myself, this is amazing, just one more spoonful. The smell of Nutella was all I could focus on. It was as if I was under a spell. I couldn't notice anything else, just the jar and the spoon. After finishing the jar, I'd feel awful, my stomach painfully full. My husband would ask where the Nutella went, and my heart would sink with guilt and shame. I shouldn't have eaten all that. I've let everyone down. Seeing the empty jar made me feel like a failure. So, to numb the pain, I would eat even more. My go-to foods were M&M's, pizza, baguette, crisps, brownies, chocolate cookies. The next morning, I would wake up feeling terrible, tired, and heavy. The worst was my stomach, bloated and uncomfortable. My mouth was dry with a bad taste from all the food I ate the day before. I felt like I was dragging myself out of bed and my whole body felt sluggish. I was dreading going to the bathroom because I knew what was coming. My heart was beating fast because I was scared to see the number on the scale. I kept thinking, it's going to be bad, I just know it, and why did I eat so much? As I stepped on the scale, I watched the numbers climb higher and higher. I felt the usual sinking feeling in my stomach, and the shame and disgust with myself crept in, right on cue. My stomach felt even heavier, and all I wanted was to hide. I felt even worse looking at myself in the mirror. I looked fat, tired, and sad. My throat felt tight, and I wanted to cry. I was telling myself, you look awful. You'll never be slim or pretty. I was both hopeless and angry at myself. Fast forward to today. Now, I don't binge eat anymore, and I stick to my healthy diet, mostly protein and fiber, easily. What it means is that there are currently 5 Nutella jars in our kitchen, and I simply don't care about any of them. Even the one that's already opened. I don't even think about it. Thanks to the model, I discovered that my thoughts about food were the problem. Not the food or my body. I learned how to use the adult part of my brain, my prefrontal cortex, instead of the toddler part, my primitive brain. At 50, I've become the bodybuilder I always wanted to be, going down 3 dress sizes. What that means is that instead of ruining my body with too much food, I'm building the body I've always wanted by fueling it with food that feels really good. I also lift weights 5 times a week and I feel amazing. To give you an idea, I'm already pushing 100 kilograms, which is about 200 pounds, with my legs on the leg press. When I started in November 2023, I could only push 30 kilograms, which is about 60 pounds. So I'm super proud of my progress. That makes me think that everyone starts somewhere, and if we keep going, we, you, me, can achieve amazing things. Even though I've been avoiding cameras at all costs for years, I celebrated my 50th birthday with a photo shoot as a gesture of love for my body. I've been told repeatedly that my face glows with health. In the pictures, I can see my strong and powerful shoulders, my arms more toned than ever, which means that when I wave my kids goodbye, my skin is tight. My waist is slimmer and tighter, even if you can't see my abs yet. My hips are still curvy, and my muscles show on my legs. My thighs are getting firmer, and my calves are definitely more defined. So when I walk down the beautiful streets of Paris, I stand tall and proud, my head high, my shoulders back, and I walk with a light and confident step that I've never had before. Many of my friends thought menopause meant declining health, but I, just like Brooke and so many other women our age, proved them wrong. I'm living proof that we can improve our health, even in middle age. And fun fact, even though I'm French, I'm a terrible cook. I can't even make pasta without turning the kitchen into a swimming pool of boiling water. Not fun. But it doesn't matter. What matters is that I no longer feel trapped by my own brain. I no longer see food as irresistible. Instead, I feel free and lighter inside and out. I've lost weight, gone down 3 dress sizes, and I no longer think about food 24/7. I no longer eat on autopilot just because there's food in front of me. Instead, I savor my food, enjoying my favorite dark chocolate twice a day. I no longer worry that I'm damaging my health and ruining my body. On the contrary, I trust that I take great care of myself. I've saved money by not buying cheap food to numb myself or clothes in different sizes. As you can imagine, I've saved quite a lot of money, all because I've used the model. I now spend money on food and clothes I truly want, making shopping a delightful moment. I have more time for the people and activities I love, like my family, my gorgeous cat Eva, and my amazing clients. So that's what happened. Using the model, I turned a bad habit into a good one. And then I applied the same process to go further. I'd always wanted a strong and feminine body, and I allowed myself to do just that with weightlifting. And I'm just getting started. It's only the beginning. And I'm sharing this with you because if I can achieve this, anyone can achieve the same result. And you don't have to waste 30 years as I did. You can do it easier, faster, better, because somebody else, like me, like Brooke, has done it before you. I know how painful it is to be a slave to our desires, and I also know exactly how to shift to freedom and control with the model. So that's my biggest insight, number 2 out of 5. With the model, you can first turn a bad habit into a good habit, and then apply the skills learned in the process to get whatever you want to achieve in life. Changing your thoughts can help you break free from bad habits and achieve your dreams, no matter your age. You can create whatever you want. Isn't that fantastic? And that's what I've been doing with 50 Scholars for 5 years, 5 days a week. Brooke's work has changed my life and many others. At the Life Coach School, I use the model to coach people and change their lives. We talk about everything: making money, losing weight, building muscle, getting along with mother-in-laws, partners, kids, bosses, moving, traveling, you name it. Here are some examples. I coach Suzanne to start running several days a week, even with a busy job and 3 kids as a single mom. Now she feels strong and happy because she can balance everything. I helped Catherine add more walking, stair climbing, and belly dancing to her day. She ate protein, fiber, and fat, fasted, lost 8 kilos, that's about 16 pounds, and improved her blood pressure. Now she feels lighter and full of energy. I guided Amélie to say no to dessert at a restaurant, focusing on her well-being instead of pleasing her friends. She now feels proud and confident because she sees how she can make choices that work for her. Vanessa improved her eating habits and gut health with the model. She now feels so much more alive. I taught Alexandra to manage her urges for bread and cakes while visiting France. She can now enjoy all her trips without feeling guilty. I coached Eloise to add more gym exercises to her CrossFit training. She now feels stronger and more excited about her fitness. I helped Naël eat just a few peanuts, even when she thought she couldn't stop. She was very pleasantly surprised to notice she could control herself. I guided Karine to notice her thoughts about food and detach from her urges to overeat. She now feels free instead of being afraid of food. Victoire improved her daily golf practice with models that served her. She was happy to get better and better. I coached Chloe to put on her ballerina shoes again and do the splits for a show, which made her feel joyful and confident. Laurence used her primitive brain to her advantage by building a Jenga tower each time she overcame an urge to binge eat. Instead of dreading her urges, she now feels smart and in control. After all, she's turned her struggle into a fun game. So, to put it in a nutshell, that's my biggest insight, number 3 out of 5. You can coach anybody on anything. I coach thousands of scholars on a variety of topics, and that's the coolest and most empowering thing about the model. Coaching with the model helps people make big changes in their lives, from health to hobbies. You can coach anybody on anything. What about my last 2 insights? Here they come. What I also noticed in my 5 years in the Life Coach School is that even coaches need coaching. Not only do coaches need help coaching themselves, but they also need help coaching others. It's okay to have a mentor and reflect with other coaches. Coaches get coached on their coaching and on their cravings, for instance. I know that as coaches, we all want to be perfect. But let me tell you this, for the past 5 years, even as a coach, even working for the best and most prestigious life coaching school on the planet, I was still a mess 50% of the time. And that's normal. And yet, I could still do a great job in coaching. I was simply being a very regular human being, experiencing the 50-50 of life. I may have spent 8 years in Get Coached, helped thousands of scholars for the Life Coach School for the past 5 years. I still have a human brain. When I started coaching, I felt like an imposter. I thought, who am I to help others? I'm not good enough. I'm not even doing what I help them do. I keep eating what I said I wouldn't eat, so I can't trust myself. Why should they? But actually, this struggle is what made me first a very normal, regular, ordinary human being. And second, a successful coach who's created an extraordinary life, if I do say so myself. Which means that you can do it too. You can use the model and create the extraordinary life that you want. Did you know that successful people fail the most because they try the most? Each failure is a step towards success, which means you don't have to be perfect to succeed. Failing is part of the journey. So if you're failing, don't worry. It's actually normal, it makes sense, nothing's wrong with you. You're just another regular human being who's learning and failing forward. And what I've realized through coaching people in Tokyo, Mexico, New York, Vancouver, Glasgow, Paris, or London is that we may have different cultures and different backgrounds, different experiences in life, but we share the same human brain. And when we have a different brain because of ADHD, autism, an extremely high IQ, or because we're highly sensitive, we still need coaching. And whether you're a beginner with a model or a master coach who's gone through various advanced training, you still need coaching. That's right. Master coaches need coaching too, just like a great hairdresser needs someone else to cut their hair. Sometimes we need a therapist rather than a coach. But even with a diagnosis like depression, the model can help. Both therapists and coaches work together, like a team around an athlete going for gold. Speaking of athletes, I'm pretty sure that some of the athletes in the Paris Olympics right now could do much better with the model. Imagine, they could win gold instead of silver. So coaches will always have work. Why? Because the model always applies. Our thoughts create our feelings that drive our actions, that impact our results all the time. Where we live, what our brain's like, whatever our experience is, it doesn't matter. The model always works. It's fascinating. So that's my biggest insight, number 4 out of 5. Even coaches need coaching to succeed and help others better. So yes, 2024 will be the last year of Get Coached. So as Brooke said, it is the end of an era. But the model isn't going anywhere. It lives on forever in so many languages for so many different, normal human brains. Which brings us to our last insight, insight number 5. There are so many possibilities for all of us. Get Coached stops in December, but we'll keep going. We can trust the process. There's hope. I'm not afraid of Get Coached ending. Even if I no longer coach the amazing scholars and earn money from the Life Coach School, I embrace this change and the new opportunities. Remember what Brooke always says, it's happening for us, not to us. So the end of Get Coached is actually not the end, but the beginning. It's only the beginning. There are many more amazing things to come. Imagine that. The model will keep on helping people even after the end of Get Coached. Why? Because we'll always have our primitive brain. An unsupervised primitive brain can cause problems in our life. For instance, in our career, whether we're a coach, businesswoman, or a writer. Get Coached is ending, but you can keep coaching and self-coaching. The model is always here. Why do we need the model? Because we have a primitive brain and always will. It's like the default settings in our brain, just like default settings on our phones. That's the way it is. If we don't pay attention, our primitive brain can run the show and stop us from getting to our goals. As Brooke says, it's this toddler with a knife that we need to babysit. So we'll always need to supervise our brain, and that's what the model helps with. I'm no exception. The thousands of scholars and coaches I've helped are no exception. They've all had challenges and still do. It's perfectly normal, and yet they've moved forward in so many ways. I'm no different than you. I have a human brain with a primitive part and a prefrontal cortex. Maybe you don't binge eat. Maybe you don't want to become a bodybuilder. But whatever your challenges and goals are, I promise you, you can do it. I know it sounds cliché, but it's cliché for good reason, because it's true. If one person has done it, then another can do it too, and that means you. And the model makes change possible even faster than you thought. So that's my biggest insight number 5. The model will always help us manage our primitive brain and make lasting changes. So let's recap our 5 insights. Insight number 1. Coaching in your own language helps you express yourself better, feel more comfortable, and achieve your goals faster. Insight number 2. Changing your thoughts can help you break free from bad habits, create good habits instead, and achieve your dreams, no matter your age. Insight number 3. With the model, you can coach anybody on anything. Insight number 4. Every brain needs coaching. Insight number 5. The model will always help us manage our primitive brains and make lasting changes. So even though Get Coached ends at the end of the year, make sure you take care of yourself and your dreams. Find a coach who can coach you through things, get over things, and create new things. There are plenty of certified life coaches through the Life Coach School who can help you in your own language. As to me, I will also keep coaching 50 people 5 days a week for the next 50 years. My grandma being 105 years young, I think that's a very reasonable prediction if you ask me. I specialize in coaching people from binge eating to bodybuilding because that's my area of expertise. We're all experts in coaching our previous self, aren't we? Since you're still here, don't miss out on my cheat sheet. Make sure you check the episode show notes to download your special bonus gift that lists the 5 biggest insights. And good news, I've got an extra insight just for you. It's an exclusive gift I've created. I made a cheat sheet that you can download for free. So not only will you get the 5 insights I've shared with you today, but you'll get 1 extra. Isn't that fun? Also, check out my website, thecravingscoach.fr. Make sure you type in the THE, cravingscoach.fr. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube. Thank you so much for letting me host this podcast today. Have a great day, and au revoir. See you soon.